Hello new and returning viewers, I'm the Sauce, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at Mezuki, which is the first boss of Nioh 2. I was actually really excited for Nioh 2. Nioh was probably one of my favorite one-off Souls games, and this first boss actually really reminds me of Ludwig, which is the first boss of the Bloodborne DLC, so I was really ecstatic to see this guy. Stick around for the end of the video and you'll be able to see me do the Twilight version of this fight, which gets unlocked after you complete all the other missions in the first area of the game, which is basically just a more harder, higher damage output version of this fight. So without further delay, let's get into this guide video. Okay, so right off the gate, I want to just go ahead and say watch out for this grapple that you're about to see right here. It is absolutely devastating. It does a tremendous amount of damage, and for first-time players, first-time playthrough, you'll probably die to this if you get hit by it. The boss does have a lot of attacks that are going to be in sets of 2s and 3s, so you'll see 1 swipe, 2 swipe, 3 swipe. That right there, that's another one of his 1, 2, 3. But that last attack, when it lights up red, is available to hit that demon counter, which is your right trigger plus circle. The next biggest thing that I want to talk about in this fight is really watch the boss's gauge bar. So right here we just broke his Kai bar. Now we're doing continuous stagger damage. Basically we have him locked, and this will continue to happen until the boss basically gets fed up, a certain damage is inputted, and then he'll transition into that dark realm. So now here we have that reset. We're going to go ahead and dodge a few projectiles. Those do deal damage if they hit you, but we can just sidestep them with ease and then cleanse them. They do leave the yokai realm portals on the ground, so very easy to cleanse. The best way to deal with these is to kind of run up to the boss's side. Whenever you see those projectiles, you can get easy damage on the boss's back. Once he starts shooting them, just kind of run away and then run to the side. If you get too far away from the boss, you will see this move, which is basically where he sends 2 shockwaves. Again, very easy to deal with. Okay, and I should also make a side note that the boss's ranged attacks do not have collision effects, so basically those 3 little black dots, they will traverse through this shrine that you have here, and then also they will traverse through the tree that is right behind me. You can use those to really put some good space between you and the boss to get off a good heal, but also keep in mind if he goes into, one of his range attacks, those can hit you. So here we're just going to put some pressure on the boss and get around to his backside, and we'll keep doing that, getting our key pulse to get our stamina back up. That is that counterable attack with your demon counter. Now, I should also make a note. Right here in a second, you'll see if you sit on the boss's tail too much, he will kick you. So you really kind of want to just stay on this boss's side more than anything. And for the most part, that's really it about this fight. We dodge the projectiles, we try to get them away from the boss, we run in for some damage, and to keep an eye out for the boss's combos, those 1, 2, 3s like we just saw there. And always try to go for the demon counter whenever you can. We're going to get one right here, boom, and you do a giant portion of damage to the yokai's key bar. So that's really the biggest way and easiest way to deal with these bosses, is to do as much damage to their key bar as possible. That way you can actually work on their health. Alright, and with this boss wrapping up, let's go ahead and talk about the Twilight version of the fight, which is more or less the same, but more damage output. And the easiest way to deal with bosses, especially for self-buffing, I've realized, is to take the Purification Talisman. The Purification Talisman that you see we have highlighted on the left side of the screen here is so helpful with dealing with all yokai in general, but especially bosses, because this really allows you to really get in deep with that key damage, which is how we're going to stagger the boss so we can do a ton of damage to the boss's health. And I highly recommend that everyone pick up this talisman. It is so freaking good. I cannot stress it. So with further ado, we will now show the Twilight version of Mezuki. Again, the Twilight version is the same fight, it is just higher damage output. So he's going to have all the same abilities that we had to deal with in the first attempt. Out the gate, you will see that I start off by using my Purification Talisman, and we're going to try to go ahead and get his debuff locked on him, which you can see in the bottom right corner, right above his health bar on the right side. Just a few more hits, we'll have it locked in. There we go. And we're going to do some more purification. I think we're going to get a counter here in just a moment, and that will do a significant portion of key damage to the boss. And you, like I said, you just want to go for that as often as possible. There's our counter, and we're going to start pushing in on the boss again, get some space in between us. I think we're going to go for a heal, and we'll close the distance and go right back in on him. And now that we have the boss locked and staggered, we're going to go ahead and put as much damage into him as possible before he resets. There's the reset, and immediately after we'll get some distance between us and the boss again. And while we have that opportunity to get some attacks in on his backside, I do have a really amazing piece of gear on right now that's giving me health back whenever I do a purification, getting rid of the yokai realm, which we're doing on a regular basis anyway to recover our own ki. Watching out for that big 1, 2, 3. There's the grab. We'll ditch that as well. And I think we're going to get a counter here. Boss is almost staggered once again. That's us using our one of our 2 yokai abilities. There's those ranged attacks. And sidestep this, he hits his head, he gets staggered, and now he's going to be broken, allowing us to get our big riposte attack on him, doing a giant damage portion of his health. And I think we're just going to back off, and we finish him off with one of our yokai abilities that deals poison. And he'll actually get poison, and we don't have to hit him for the rest of the fight, and he'll just die on his own. Which is pretty awesome that that's a thing for boss fights. I absolutely love it. Little gimmicky things like that. And that's all just through testing, you know, trying new things. So thank you so much for watching the video, guys. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoy the content, please consider hitting that like button, and if you want to see more stuff like this, subscribe as well, and I will be putting out a boss video for every single boss and kodoma guide locations for all the different levels that include it. So again, thank you so much for joining me, guys, and until next time, stay saucy.